For 50 years, the AICPA National Tax Conference has stood at the intersection of policy, practice, and progress, bringing together generations of tax professionals to learn, collaborate, and lead the future of the profession.
The conference has always been instrumental in maintaining a thinking edge in dealing with tax law and dealing with how it relates to clients and their businesses and their personal investments.
You're quite literally getting an education from the absolute experts in their respective space.
This is really a one-stop shop for you to be able to understand what has happened, what laws have come, and what laws are going to be coming. And it really is a way to get insights not only from the leading experts in our country, but also from the IRS themselves.
What began as a small gathering of professionals has grown into a vibrant forum where thought, leadership, and technology intersect, reflecting a tax landscape transformed by globalization, e-commerce, and artificial intelligence.
So many things have changed from 7 and 14 column paper to dealing with Excel and now to dealing with AI.
Back in the 80s until the early 90s, you interacted with the tax law by pulling books off of shelves. And it worked, but you had to make sure your colleague didn't have the book sitting in their office. When we moved to a digital format in the mid-90s, that was just a tremendous improvement on the ability to access the tax law 24/7. People today probably just don't imagine when they're doing tax research online with some commercial tax tool that they might be thinking, oh, it's always been some online database. No, it started off, it was books on shelves, and you had to know how to pull those things off.
But as access became easier, the work itself grew more complex.
We live in a world where tax law is changing constantly, whether it's tax legislation that was passed or IRS rulings or other updates, court cases. It's just such an evolving landscape all the time.
Technology and the emergence of e-commerce in the 1990s enabled businesses of any size to have customers anywhere. Well, now that raises a whole bunch of multi-jurisdictional issues that prior to the e-commerce, you just dealt with the law of that one particular state. But now you are easily dealing with perhaps the tax laws in all states and perhaps even outside of the U.S. as well. So the tax law has become far more complicated.
Certainly the reliance and use of technology has been the biggest trend I've seen over the years. But at the root of it all, you still need to know the law and still need to understand it and know all the new stuff that's happening.
Through every reform, every new regulation, every reinvention, the AICPA National Tax Conference has been a steady guide, helping professionals find answers, navigate obstacles, and move forward with confidence.
Most people in the industry, not all, but most, we've only really practiced through one round of tax reform, and that would have been the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And to be able to come down to DC the following November and all subsequent Novembers and hear directly from IRS personnel about the timeline of regulations and what we can expect to see and when, where the priorities were, it was invaluable.
The ability that we've had over these years to draw speakers from the Ways and Means Committee, the Senate Finance Committee, the administration, from the Treasury Department, and from the heavy IRS involvement, that's something that has really been critical over the years.
Not only do we try to tie in someone from the regulatory side to provide their insights to each session, but we also bring in the advocacy work that we've done so that you understand why we've taken certain positions and what we're looking at to the future as to what could be happening.
The pace of change has never been faster, and still, the spirit of the conference endures. 50 years in, its story is far from finished. It's just getting started.
One of the things that sets the National Tax Conference apart, that it has national speakers and the ability to tap resources at the national level.
You really have an opportunity to speak to those who are maybe dealing with the same issues you're dealing with, or just learning from the best of the best. And that's why I find the tax conference to be so great, is you really are learning from the top thought leaders in the tax community.
And I would like to think that, as we see this influx of the next generation into our industry, that I really think it can play a huge role in inspiring the next generation to continue to build that expertise, because it certainly did that for me.
From bookshelves to AI, from first laws to future leaders, the AICPA National Tax Conference continues to shape the story of tax 1 year at a time.